Hello friends, and thanks for stopping by today. First, we're excited and very proud to announce this channel now has over 10,000 subscribers. Thanks to everyone that did so. Now, on to 20,000. If you haven't subscribed, it's easy and it's free. We try to bring you interesting content every week, and this week's feature is a real treat. We found a classic '69 Mustang recently that has a history that's really quite intriguing. Owners Mike and Sherry Gomez will tell you their car's amazing story. You've got to hear it for yourself. It shows the connection we car people have to our favorite rides and how determination and sheer will can overcome any obstacle. Now, we'll let the Gomez's tell you all about their gorgeous Mustang. Let's go for a ride.
I'm waiting to tell a story for...
This car means a lot to us.
I can tell.
All right, my name's Mike. This is my wife, Sherry. We own a '69 Mustang. The story about this car... Well, I used to own a Ford 28 Cobra Jet in San Francisco, and that's how I met my wife.
It's amazing what these cars do.
Yeah, well, after what I've been through with this car, especially with the first car I had, and how I met her, and everything we went through with that car. And then years later, we moved to Phoenix, and after then I started watching the Barrett Jackson shows, and I see the car I used to own come across the chopping block. 120,000, 150,000, and oh my God, and I sold it like for peanuts. So years later, my wife helped me decide in getting another car and restoring it from scratch. So she found one online through pictures. Never buy a car looking at pictures. What a rust bucket this was when it got off the car hauler. So years went by, restoring the car, working out of my garage.
3 years.
Every weekend setting up, working on it, tearing it apart. My wife always saying, how come I see less of the car every time I see it, and telling them to get out of here. Or my daughter coming by saying, how many times are you going to sand the car, Dad? I tell her, get out of here. You know, I knew what I was going to see at the end. So years later, I finally got it close to being done one Sunday morning, 6:30 in the morning, garage doors open. I came in to have a cup of coffee in the back bedroom. All of a sudden I hear my car start up. Vroom! I go running out, and here's this thieving little so-and-so backing my car out of my driveway. I tried to stop him. He runs me over, goes down the street, going backwards, loses control, goes in through the front yard into a house and totals the car. So, I'm in the hospital, we find the guy, the police call me, I have to go back, identify him. So now they tow the car back, put it in the garage. I didn't look at it for like a month. So I finally went out there one day to start to say, well, it's not going to fix itself. So I started pulling parts. My son-in-law and my daughter came over, started helping me take out the interior and take it down the scratch again. So unbeknownst to me that they made some phone calls to a car restorer in town through Rodden and Racing, yeah. And they showed up, got a phone call. My wife comes running out of the house screaming, they're on their way, they're on their way. I go, what? Rodden and Racing, blah, blah. So they show up with a car hauler, and they introduce themselves, the guy from Rodden and Racing, that they're going to fix my car for free. I go, oh my God, you're kidding. So they put it on the car hauler. I follow him back to his shop, and then helped him start taking parts off of it. And he ordered a frame rail straightener special for his shop to put the car on, the first one. He wanted to get one. So that took a few years. And then I finally got the car back, and I put it all back together with the help of my wife and my friends and support of my wife.
I named her Mistress because for 3 years he was working on this car. Nights and weekends, no vacations. I never saw him. She would like his mistress, so that's how she got her name.
Yeah, so it's still been a journey.
We love driving her.
Yeah, I like to get the accolades from people around, especially on the road. One day we're on the freeway and the car slowed down, and this little kid's in the back window.
Oh yeah, and the mom, they came hauling up next to us, and I thought, oh my God, you know what's going on? And I look over, and the kid's in the back seat, and the mom's going back and forth along our car so the kid can take video of the whole car as we're driving down the 202.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It was really cute.
So, I mean, that's the short story, but the chase, rebuilding the car from scratch, having to find the parts, finding everything, that was a lot of the fun of getting everything I needed. The interior, it was a sport roof when I got it, and I converted it into a Mach 1. So the interior I had to find, the back folding seat I had to find, the transmission was in the trunk, the engine was dropped in the engine bay. I had to find all the other parts. Everything on the car is brand new. So it's been a real, and this is the short story.
I would like to say that thanks to the Phoenix police, they were there in 4 minutes flat, and they caught the thief who stole our car, and he ended up getting 6.5 years in jail. And the judge, after he saw the pictures of the car, the judge wished he could give him more. So I want to really give a lot of props to the Phoenix police.
The AC system in Phoenix, and every time I want to go out for a drive, my wife was hesitant because it's too hot. I said, well, let me roll the window down, I'll drive faster. You'll cool off. So I ended up putting air conditioning in it this less than a year.
Too well, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I finally put stock AC in it as far as in the dash and the system in the engine compartment. So now I finally have air conditioning in the car, so
you can drive
it's a little more pleasing to drive the car here in Phoenix. It does get a little toasty here in this town. That's
for sure.
So as far as the engine, it's a 351 Cleveland. I had it rebuilt and had a nice little street cam put in it. Had the heads redone, roller rockers. And then as far as put the hooker headers on it, dual exhaust, performance mufflers. Put a 5-speed Tremec in it. The posi rear end was a good story that I found that. A neighbor one day came around over to me, seen I was working on the car, and he said he's getting divorced and he's parting out his car. So I went over there and he had a brand new rebuilt posi Ford rear end that I bought for $450. And nowadays they're like $2,500. So that's the best deal I got on the car. I picked it up, I came back around the corner, I had the automatic rear end out and the posi in about an hour. So that was the best deal. And then I put obviously Krager mags on it all the way around. I always think that that's the best looking rim on a stock Ford. The interior, I had to find all the interior. The fold down back seat was a real hassle trying to find. The console, the interior, the dash, everything's been, everything I got pretty much is brand new that I put back into the car. It's a driver. It's not a trailer queen. We drive it.
That's how we heard about you.
A lot. So
you were up at the Route 66 fun run.
That was fun. That was a good weekend. My wife's birthday was that, she turned 66, so we did the Route 66, and that was kind of cool. Something that she liked.
Let's open the hood. All right.
I like stock. The air conditioning, like I said, I had put in just less than a year ago. My battery went out last weekend on a run, so I had to buy a new battery. This heat ruins batteries. The hood, when I got the hood, I had to cut the hole for the hood scoop myself. And then that trim ring on that, I think I'm the only Mustang I've seen that the hood ring is chromed. Little bling.
Little bling for the jewelry box.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I put the front spoiler on it. And pretty much else of it, it looks pretty much stock from the outside.
It's beautiful.
So,
When we first got married, Mike had a Ford 28 Cobra Jet, and we used to love driving in it, but after a few years, I had my daughter, and I decided that I didn't want to raise her in San Francisco. I wanted to buy a house back in the East Bay where we lived out in Concord, and so we sold the Cobra Jet. That was in 1981, and we moved out to Phoenix in 2006, and every time a Mach 1 would go by, I would just see Mike do a little sigh, and so I felt, that's it, I've got to find him another hot rod. I looked all around the valley, so I got on the internet, and I found this poor, ignored little Mach 1 Mustang back in Illinois. It was white, and it looked terrible. We had it shipped out. The transmission was in the trunk. You could see through the floor. He didn't have any floorboards. You could see the ground as it went off. So that's when he started working on this car. So the real motto is, be careful working on your car in the driveway, because you never know who's watching you. Because when he was at court, the thief admitted on the stand that he saw Mike working on the car in the driveway one day and made it his point to come back around and around and waited till it was finished and then stole it.
but it's been a real adventure.
What's your favorite part about her now?
Driving it.
Yeah.
Driving it and people.
And the people's reactions when they see it.
You get a lot of fun. I never race it. My buddy has a hot rod himself, and he's always jumping on it, but I never jump on my car. I got it. It sounds really good. I know it's fast, but I don't have to prove anything to anybody.
Yeah. Not after what she's been through already.
Yeah.
Gonna let me drive?
Just kidding.
No.
Well, he left the door open, so I thought he was gonna let me drive.
Now you sound like my wife.
Not likely. All right. Say hi again, Mike.
Hi again. Here we go again. Take two.
Let's go for a cruise. Say hi, Sherry. Hi. Hate that. Oh yeah. Whew. She likes that cool morning air. Yes. Beautiful out this morning. Sounds good. She sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day today, too, ain't it?
Might have to take her for a cruise somewhere.
Take the girl out for breakfast.
I went through the tunnel over at the speed track
At the racetrack.
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, and as I was going through this big, long, narrow tunnel, so as I was going through, I went, whoo, whoo, and it just echoed all over the place. It sounded really cool.
Isn't that sort of a law when you go through a tunnel?
Yeah, there was a charity event, and I signed up to drive Mistress on the racetrack behind the pace car 5 laps. It was really fun. It was a blast.
I
Yeah.
bet.
But she didn't got to do it alone. I was going to let her drive anyways and sit over there, but we didn't fill out all the paperwork properly, so they kicked me out of the car.
I didn't
Yeah.
know he had to have a waiver. Just I thought me for driving.
Yeah, so I'm walking away with like the walk of shame, watching my car drive away.
Yeah, but he gets out of the car and he looks at me and the last thing he says is, "Don't hit the wall." And I didn't.
Nope.
Just everybody go up. Wake up.
Here comes those Gomez's again.
Very cool.
Thanks to Mike and Sherry for persevering through a very difficult time to resurrect their Mustang for the second time, and to once again take it to shows and cruise nights, participate in local club events, or just take out for leisurely but very spirited drives whenever the urge strikes. Now the car's got even more of a special place in the Gomez household after all it's been through. This is one of the best car stories we've heard in a long time, wouldn't you agree? Let us know in the comments what you think of this beautiful '69 Mustang. Next week, we'll bring you our coverage of the unbelievable concourse show held in San Marino, California this past August. We've brought you a few of the wonderful cars we found there, but this video will give you a glimpse of all the other vehicles that were there. And don't miss it. Thanks for watching.